From the Northern Television Center, this is TV8 News for DeKalb and Sycamore.
Good evening and welcome to TV8 News. I'm Jonathan Wallace.
And I'm Todd Bauer. Thanks for joining us this evening. On top tonight, a DeKalb woman is in critical condition after a fire at University Apartments on Russell Road. Virginia Tyson is being transferred to Loyola Medical Center. The blaze broke out at about 5 o'clock this evening in the bedroom of a first-floor apartment at 827 Russell Road. Kathy Hansen lives in an apartment building nearby. Hansen says she thought she saw a woman in the burning apartment and broke a window to save her, but the smoke got too thick to see anything. She then ran and told a firefighter someone was trapped inside. Firefighters were able to get Tyson out and worked on reviving her before an ambulance arrived. DeKalb Fire Department Captain Warren Lubbers reports no other apartments in the building were damaged and residents were allowed to go back in. Lubbers adds the blaze is being investigated and the cause of the fire is not known. A total of 4 trucks and 1 ambulance were on the scene. 2 of the trucks were from Sycamore. Not only were the DeKalb firemen fighting real fires today, but ironically they also practiced their skills on a mock building blaze earlier this afternoon. The fire department has a monthly training session for each shift of firefighters. Captain Lubbers reports the firemen follow a priority list called REVIS when fighting a fire. REVIS stands for Rescue, Evacuation, Ventilation, Fire Attack, and Salvage. And in today's drill on South First Street, they practice looking for a fire victim. Lubbers says the average time to find a victim is within the first 5 minutes after getting to the fire. The men also practice how to go through the roof of a building to get to a fire. The fire department rarely uses real smoke in its drills because it's hard to get permits from the Environmental Protection Agency. So instead it uses a smoke machine to help make the drill be as real as possible. Lubbers states an ambulance and a fire crew of 10 men reviewed their skills 3 times today.
A consulting firm working for DeKalb County recommends farmland outside the city limits of DeKalb and Sycamore should stay that way. Campbell Design Group was hired by the county board to find the best use of land across DeKalb and Sycamore, and the group finds things should stay the way they are.
The Campbell Design Group plans on keeping land like this only for farm use. The group agrees that this proposal would keep subdivisions from springing up. And some local farmers say that's just fine with them. Roger Steimel believes DeKalb County should be kept mainly farmland because of the prime growing soil.
Well, I think we need to recognize that DeKalb County is a very rich agricultural area. The county has the highest percentage of farmable land in the state. We have very good soils, and we have sort of a drought-resistant climate here also. So I would hate to see the change from agriculture to subdivision development come too rapidly.
Are the farmers planning to speak out on this proposal?
We have spoken at open hearings, and of course our farm organization, Farm Bureau, has been quite involved in sensible county planning. And so we farmers are involved in presenting our opinion and hope that the county board will use good reason and good judgment in developing their county plan.
But local developers feel the land has too many slopes and wooded areas to be good for farming. Developers feel if this plan is accepted by the county board, it would deprive farmers of using their land as they want. But with the certain growth of Chicago and the suburbs towards DeKalb, officials say the battle between developers and farmers will probably have to end soon. Holly Harper, TV8 News.
The county board isn't reviewing the plan until July, and County Administrative Aide Ray Bachman urges residents to contact their county board representative if they have any comments. And in other local farm news, DeKalb County has the highest wheat yield of the state in 1989. The DeKalb Farm Bureau has revealed the 82 bushels per acre is the highest wheat production in Illinois. DeKalb County also ranked 12th in the state in corn production with 149 bushels. Soybeans yielded 45 bushels per acre. The DeKalb County Farm Bureau feels the increased yields were due because of 1988 smaller figures due to drought. Also, the average earnings for farmers increased slightly to nearly $18,000. This is slightly lower than the earnings in nearby Illinois Valley. Farm Bureau official Scott Newport feels the lower earnings were due to DeKalb having smaller farms. Newport is cautiously optimistic about the 1990 crop yields. He feels if weather conditions are normal for summer, farmers will experience a larger yield.
Still to come on TV8 News tonight, if you haven't filed your income tax forms yet this year, time is running out. Monday's deadline is fast approaching, and many area residents seem to be pushing it. We'll have that story next.
And we'll also have a story about a unique area production of the classic musical Annie. We'll tell you why it's so special when we come back.
Between 70 and 80% of all Americans over 18 drink some form of alcohol. Alcoholism is a progressive, deadly disease that can affect anyone. Intellectual people become alcoholics the same as anyone else. Ask yourself these questions. When you drink, do you feel more confident and less shy? Do you drink to escape problems? Has drinking ever caused you to have a loss of memory? Is alcohol often around when you are with friends? Or alone?
Hey, Steve, you'll be late for class.
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may have or may be developing a problem with alcohol. There's help available. At Ben Gordon, we have treatment professionals who can help. Call us. That's the first step.
If you haven't filled out your tax forms yet, you've only got till Monday to get it done. And as TV8 News reporter Tony Thomas reports, you're not the only one waiting till the last minute.
Late this afternoon, Gary Fox was just taking his forms into H&R Block. While many people take pleasure in waiting until the deadline, Fox says he's just had too many other things to do.
I'm a professor at NIU, and there are many deadlines. This happened to be April 15th or 16th, and you do your work. You try to get as many deadlines met as you possibly can, all of them, and so I've met those, and now I'm hoping to meet this.
Waiting till the last minute means no holiday break for many tax preparers. Roger Nelson says he's working more than 15 hours a day.
Well, I come in here probably about 8:30 in the morning and then leave about 1 o'clock at night, just because I feel I've had enough for the day. I haven't even really determined what the next 3 days are going to be for us.
For many, H&R Block is just the first step in meeting the taxman's deadline. The next step is to get the forms in the mail. At the DeKalb Post Office, officer in charge Mark Nimmerfro is expecting 2,000 tax forms a day.
And what we're going to do is we're going to team up for it and schedule people to come in late at night to make collections on the collection boxes which are out in front of the post office on the drive. And what they'll be doing is collecting mail on them so they don't get congested and jammed up. And up until Monday night, we'll have somebody here Monday night at midnight, which is the deadline, to collect the mail from the boxes, make cancellations on them with the 16th on them so that their deadline will be met.
This afternoon, Postal Clerk Jim Luke made extra trips to empty the collection boxes in front of the post office. He's predicting a tough weekend ahead.
We'll get probably quite a bit today, and then tomorrow it'll start picking up, and then Sunday and Monday will be the worst day of all.
Luke and others will be working right past midnight Monday, trying to keep both the taxman and taxpayer happy. Tony Thomas, TV8 News.
Some DeKalb area residents feel a proposed budget amendment by Secretary of State Jim Edgar will have trouble getting approved. The bill would give the governor more budgeting power and put the state on a 2-year budgeting cycle. NIU political science professor Letty Wenner feels the Republican and Democratic parties' differences will result in a failure to pass the bill. The City of DeKalb finance director feels the budget proposal could hurt the DeKalb area if it wasn't flexible enough to handle changes. Doug Merrill says cities could be hurt if the state didn't give enough money and wouldn't raise more to remedy a problem. But NIU Assistant Provost Tony Fusaro feels a 2-year budget gives more flexibility in academic planning. He feels changes could be made easier. Public policy expert Dr. James Banovitz believes the idea behind the bill is to carefully plan state spending and limit waste. And that's why the Illinois Taxpayers Federation supports it. The proposal needs legislative approval in the next month to get on the November ballot.
The Sycamore Water Department is planning to flush hydrants on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, and that could cause a temporary water color change for the people who live in the areas where the process will take place. Hydrant flushing involves pumping water through the fire plugs to get rid of mineral deposits. On Monday, the Water Department plans to flush hydrants on East Elm Street, East Ottawa Street, East High Street, and Park Moore. On Tuesday, East Lincoln Street, Home Street, and Fairway Lane are scheduled, and the Turner Addition is on the agenda for Wednesday. The Water Department says the hydrants won't be flushed if the temperature falls below freezing. Some NIU students from the Hearing Impaired Teachers Training Program and some hearing students presented a very unique version of the Broadway musical Annie last night at the Home Student Center. Members of the cast sang only with their hearts but with their mouths. Also, the production included a sign language accommodation throughout the entire program, the accommodation for the hearing impaired throughout the entire audience.
Or your backside's well. What do you say? I love you, Miss Hannigan.
Tony Bosserman is an NIU graduate and a member of NIU's Hearing Impaired Teachers and Training Program. Bosserman created the idea of the NIU Deaf Theater last year. She says musicals are designed to give the hearing impaired students a chance to take part in theater.
Oh, it's great because it's a great opportunity to help show that hearing impaired and hearing people can work together and enjoy the same things, and that hearing impaired people can enjoy music and they can sing with their hands.
Also involved with the production was the university's Hearing Impaired program. The program is designed to help younger hearing impaired students get ready for college life. And also, DeKalb police weren't expecting any unusual events today due to it being Friday the 13th. Police officials say they were treating today like it were any other day. In DeKalb, many residents didn't seem superstitious about Friday the 13th.
I was born on the 13th, and Friday the 13th is a good day.
Okay. Nothing ever happened to you before?
Nope. Nope, it's a good day.
I think it's just a farce. You don't believe anything happened to you in the past? Anything superstitious or anything?
No, actually, I was born on Friday the 13th, and I think that was a pretty good thing, so I generally have a good outlook on Friday the 13th.
You believe in Friday the 13th? No. No, as a matter of fact, I really never even think about that day when it comes. No.
I lock my black cat in the closet for the day.
Friday the 13th is regarded by many to be a day of bad luck. Traditionally, sailors used to avoid the start of a voyage on Friday the 13th. And Europeans thought any Friday was a bad luck.
And Brendan Larson now joins us for TV8 weather. Brendan, someone this morning actually thought it was a nice day, and obviously it changed. How long is this going to last?
Yeah, well, the day started out nice, but it's unfortunately going to last another 12 hours. But the good news is the snow is out of the forecast, thank goodness. We'll have all the details after the short break. Stay with us.
More for your child to do after school than just sit around. The Activities Center at the Youth Service Bureau offers after-school recreation programs, weekly planned activities, tutoring, as well as a youth employment program. Just take a look. In addition to many games, ping pong, pinball, foosball, and pool tables, all free of charge, the Activities Center provides tutors to help children with homework and to prepare for exams. The Activities Center also manages a youth employment program which posts job opportunities from the community and residential sectors. All you need to do for your child to be a part of all this is to sign up for a membership card. Membership in the YSB Activities Center offers your child tutoring, employment opportunities, after-school recreation, weekly planned activities, and special events, all within an adult-supervised environment. For more information, contact the Youth Service Bureau at 758-2454.
Again, the snow is out of the forecast, thank goodness. But the temperature is still chilly, 43 right now. The relative humidity is way up there at 100%. The barometer is 30.05 inches of mercury and is falling slightly, and the winds are out of the southeast at 7. Today's high with 53. The low dropped down to 29 normally, though we should see 60 and 37. So again, temperatures are below normal. The record high, 81 back in 1908. Again, we won't see temperatures like that for at least a couple weeks. 44 degrees is the temperature right now at Chicago's Meigsfield. 43 here in DeKalb, 42 up in Rockford. 42 over in Moline, and in downstate Illinois they have temperatures in the mid-40s. And again, it's raining in the area. Let's take a look at the national radar right now. There are some showers and even some heavier thunderstorms you can see in the red here from Oklahoma up into St. Louis, then again in our area. Let's take a closer look. And as you can see in our regional radar forecast and map, there are some heavier rains. Actually, these are pretty light. Some of them are heavier, especially out in parts of Moline and in downstate Illinois. But this is all scattered light rain showers for the most part, and some drizzle. One more stop on the radar scene. You can see this is DeKalb County right here, and this is Kane County. All of DeKalb County has rain, so again, it's pretty moist and damp out there right now. In fact, the culprit for all of this is a low-pressure system over northwestern Missouri with a warm front trailing off to the south and east into parts of Kentucky, and there's a cold front trailing down into western Texas. But again, there's a lot of rain associated with this. Dry weather out on the west coast, though, so if you have any relatives out there, it's pretty nice. Seattle had a high of 65 today. At 10 o'clock on the satellite picture, here are these bright white tops representing pretty good thunderstorms in Oklahoma and again in parts of Missouri. And there's some lighter rains and maybe even some embedded rain showers that are heavier in parts of Illinois. But once they get past us, you can see clear skies out to the west and north, which is a good sign because we'll have some sunshine in here later in the weekend. For tomorrow, that low, which is affecting us now, will be over Cincinnati, Ohio. And there will be a warm front trailing out to the east coast, and it's going to sort of die out. It's not a very strong storm, and that's good news because that means the skies will break somewhat. And there will be another cold front which will stretch all the way back into Alberta, Canada, and by Sunday it will have sunk to our back door. And so what that means is out ahead of the front we'll have some warmer temperatures and some breezy conditions for Easter Sunday. So it looks like the rain, once you can get by tonight, will pretty much end tomorrow. Well, let's take a look at the forecast in detail. For tonight, we're expecting continuous light rain to pretty much be dominant. The low will drop down to 40 degrees, and the winds will be southeast at 8 to 18 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, the drizzle will be around early in the day. Then we'll see some partial sunshine. It won't be as chilly as today, with a high of 56 and east to southeast winds. For tomorrow night, expected to be partly cloudy, maybe some scattered fog patches in the area with a low of 44. And then for Easter Sunday, not too much of a bad day. Sun and clouds will mix. It will be warmer, Todd, with a high of 61. And then maybe some cooler air back in the early part of next week. It's kind of a tricky forecast next week, though.
Well, that's good to know. How long till we get the real warm temperatures? What's going to happen?
It's really tough to really forecast beyond 4 days right now with our current computer technology. But there are hints that we could see 70-degree temperatures in a week.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it, though.
Okay, well, I'll hope for it.
Okay.
Thanks, Brendan. Jonathan?
In state news, prison officials say state prisons are now more than 38% above capacity. 1,700 inmates were sentenced to Illinois prisons in March, while only 1,000 were released. And now the prison population has topped the 26,000 mark for the first time in history. Prison officials believe the state must either look at alternatives to prison sentencing or build more prisons to relieve the overcrowding. And in other news, area residents now have a chance at an estimated $6 million jackpot as Saturday's lotto pot grows. State officials believe the $1 million increase is the result of heavier than projected sales this week. And one local lotto seller sees a slight increase in this week's sales. But Ralph's Newsstand reports the average person won't buy a ticket unless the jackpot reaches $20 million. The DeKalb 7-Eleven reports average sales. But it counts on a busy Saturday, especially during the last-minute rush from 5 to 7 in the evening. This Saturday's $6 million lotto jackpot translates to 20 yearly payments of $300,000 each to a single winner.
TV8 Sports Director Jesse Rogers joins us now for sports. Jesse, I don't expect much went on today in the way of athletics because of the rain, but I know there are some games scheduled this weekend. What are the area teams doing?
Well, actually, Todd, let's get the rain out of the way because there were no games scheduled anyway today. However, as you said, it will be a busy Easter weekend. I'll have a preview of that, and we'll hear more from some Husky football players. All that and more coming up next in sports.
Someone does
does care. If you have a problem that you've been trying to work out and you need someone to talk to, but you don't think that they'll understand, let us help. We're Ben Gordon Center, and we're here for you. Call us and set up an appointment for any of our counseling services. Our trained staff can help. Or if you just need to talk right now, our crisis hotline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you have to do is call. Ben Gordon Center. We're here because we care.
First up tonight, maybe Good Friday should be renamed Great Friday because it has finally been announced that the NIU men's basketball program signed 2 more players out of high school. The inside-outside combination of the future is in 7'1" center Steve Ohlendorf of Burbank St. Lawrence High School and 5'11" guard Mark Layton out of Westchester St. Joseph. Ohlendorf averaged 17.7 points per game plus 6.7 rebounds and 4.2 block shots for a team that went 16-12 in the 89-90 campaign. Head Husky coach Jim Molinari says the team is excited about the opportunity to work with a 7'1" post player with strong offensive skills that Ohlendorf has. Molinari also says Ohlendorf could really shore up the Husky inside game. Layton is a first-team All-East Suburban Catholic Conference player and averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds a game last year. Molinari says Layton is an extremely athletic point guard and comes from a great program with a super defensive coach. Now, Layton and Ohlendorf joined 6'3" Mike Lipniski out of Rolling Meadows as the Huskies' incoming freshman class. And by the way, Ohlendorf is the school's first 7-footer since the 1972-73 season. Now, even though it rained today, spring football practice continued. Earlier this spring, head coach Jerry Pettibone told me he likes practicing in fall weather. It kind of simulates what the weather is like for most of the Huskies' games in the fall. In any case, NIU is still working on that passing attack. Now, fullbacks in the Husky system have pretty important jobs, and they'll have even more to do if Northern continues working in the air.
Well, we're practicing passing a little more. We're taking a little more time out of practice to do it, which it helps a lot of people, and it helps the quarterbacks the most because, you know, they're so used to running the ball all the time. Now they're passing, and they're getting to be pretty accurate.
Yeah. How about you and the other fullbacks? How you guys, the wishbone's still your main gun?
Yeah, the wishbone's still going to be the main power of the Husky offense, but I think you're going to see fullbacks become a little more of a yardage gaining position now because we have so many more experienced guys coming back at the position.
All right. Yeah, they got a couple routes for us, whereas before they didn't include us too much on that, but now they got a couple routes for us.
Okay, what about yourself? Maybe a little down year last year. What types of things are you working on?
I think every spring I come out and try to work on something different. This year I'm working on my blocking again, getting ready for next season.
Of course, if you remember, Doc led the backfield in rushing 2 years ago, and the Huskies were 6th in the nation overall in rushing last year. Spring practice ends with the red-white scrimmage on Saturday, April 28th at 2 o'clock. Now, coming up this Easter weekend, the Sycamore Spartans travel to Plainfield for a doubleheader in boys baseball. The first game is set for 10 o'clock and will mark the beginning of conference play for the Spartans. Also on Saturday, the girls' softball squad from Sycamore will be at Oswego for a doubleheader as well, and the boys' track team will compete at Rochelle. On the DeKalb side, baseball and softball will take the weekend off, while track and soccer will be in action. For track, the boys will be at Rochelle and the girls at Geneva. And rounding out the high school's girls soccer will participate in Soccer Fest, which begins tomorrow morning. Finally, NIU's softball squad will be in St. Louis for the Spirit of St. Louis tournament tomorrow and Sunday. Game 1 of the tournament was rained out earlier today. So Todd and Jonathan, a lot of sports there, and spring football continues to do well.
Okay,
even in the rain.
Back to the basketball recruits. How's the new blood going to fit into the Husky program?
Well, it should really fit in well. One thing Coach Molinari has wanted since he got here was some more athletes on the team. He got that in Mark Layton, and then he also wanted size, and he got that in Steve Ohlendorf. So it should fit in well to the Husky attack next year.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jesse. Jonathan?
A University of Illinois veterinarian says the practice of buying pets for children as Easter gifts should be discouraged. Dr. Alan Paul thinks it would be better to buy a toy for a child as an Easter gift. Baby chicks, ducks, and rabbits are commonly put on sale during the Easter holiday, but Paul reports the majority of the animals die within 2 weeks of their purchase. This is because the owners of the pets don't know how to properly take care of them. Sycamore Feed pet store owner Louise Gall states that she has sold nearly 300 chicks for Easter gifts. Gall believes baby chicks, ducks should be fed with chick and duck starter and given plenty of water. The rabbits can be fed commercial rabbit food, apple pieces, and carrots. They can also survive in normal house temperatures.
And finally, with Easter just around the corner, it's time the Easter Bunny made an appearance. So we sent TV8 News reporter April Fick out today to see if she could find that infamous bunny.
In our search for the Easter Bunny, we got a hot tip that he might be here at a local pet store. And sure enough, we found some Easter bunnies. But we're told these little guys are just helpers. So we decided to talk to some local experts to find out exactly how to identify the mysterious bunny.
It looks like purple and red. Has a tail.
We're still looking for the original Easter Bunny, but I think we're getting a little closer. Our experts told us that they'll be getting a lot of candy, so we decided to check out the local candy stores to see if the bunny has been by. I noticed you got a lot of chocolate eggs in here. Has the Easter Bunny been in yet?
He'll come in later on tonight and load up his basket to make his delivery to the boys and girls.
We're told the bunny likes to keep a low profile. Maybe we'll have better luck next year. April Fick, TV8 News.
With those big ears, I don't see how keep a low profile.
Last time I saw him, he was off with those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And that about wraps it up for this week of TV8 News. Thanks for joining us.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great weekend and a happy Easter. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
The preceding program was produced live at the Northern Television Center on the campus of Northern Illinois University and came to you over Warner Cable's public access channel, Channel 8. Join us each weeknight at this time for another edition of TV8 News.